I am, of course, delighted to again be here with all of you for the occasion of memorializing and remembering how difficult it must have been in 1906 for lots of people in San Francisco who at the time the clock struck, the city began to fall apart. And before it was over, within a few hours, the city had fallen apart. But as usual, if you read in Portraits of Yesterday, you know in the Chronicle that in fact the city came roaring back. And it always comes roaring back. And when Lee Housekeeper approached me in the middle 90s, asking me about this fountain, it was a time period when absolutely I said, I don't understand why that fountain isn't already working. I had no idea that that fountain hadn't worked in hundreds of years, apparently, and no one had bothered to do anything about it. Well, fortunately, there was a fellow named Ed Lee who ran much of what the city was about in terms of public works. He stepped up. I gave him directions on what I needed to have done, and ultimately it did get done. It got done because many of you were participating in one way or another, providing the inspiration. And since the time that this fountain began to emit water again, every mayor thereafter has made it his or her responsibility to see that that fountain continues to spread water, that you continue to come here on April 18th, early morning, for the express purpose of making sure that San Francisco continues to remember what we are all about. And believe me, it was a very, very special breed of people who in 1906 actually started the process of the resurrection of San Francisco. So it shouldn't surprise you that some many, many years later, more than 100 years later, the word breed is still the foundation of our city. The new mayor is Breed. I don't know if that's her real name. I have no idea. But I do know that it represents
He said, I don't know if that's her real name. London Breed.
For so many years. And I am just in fact delighted. Believe me, when I was told by Lee Housekeeper that again we would be celebrating, I actually thought I might be here alone. I remember one time I came here and they said, you got to speak. And it was like 1 minute before the sound would ring. And lo and behold, I said, not enough time. On this occasion, there is plenty of time, ladies and gentlemen, the mayor of San Francisco and the lady who keeps the fountain going, Mayor London Breed.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mayor Willie Brown. We appreciate you being here early this morning. And let me just start by saying, I appreciate the city so much for everything that you all have done when we had to shut the city down a year ago.
Yes.
Today, we commemorate the 1906 earthquake. And we also recognize our first responders. We have our fire chief, Janine Nicholson, here today, as well as our police chief, Bill Scott. The person who has been leading during this pandemic, the Emergency Operations Center, Mary Ellen Carroll. Thank you all so much. Dr. Colfax didn't get up this early in the morning, so he's not here, but he's been a leader in this pandemic. When I think about San Francisco and the 1906 earthquake and how far we've come, just think about it. 250,000 people were homeless because of the earthquake and the fire. When I think about San Francisco and our resilience, that's what we've been talking about this entire pandemic. We've come so far. And we have made magic happen out of tragedy. The 1989 earthquake, many of us were around during that earthquake, maybe not the 1906, but the 89, we were here. We remember the freeways and the bridges and things that fell. Think about it. The Embarcadero was shadowed by a freeway. And now it's open and it's bright and it's available for all to enjoy and to see. The same with this pandemic. We're San Franciscans. We go through earthquakes, we go through pandemics, we go through things. But when the time comes and we need to rise up like the phoenix we are, we stand strong, proud, and together. And that's what the people of San Francisco did in 1906 when we rebuilt this city. And that's why we come here today to show appreciation to the guardians of the city, to show respect for the people who risked their lives, to remember the 250,000 people who were homeless and the thousands of people who lost their lives. At this time, we commemorate the 1906 earthquake, and we recognize how amazing and strong we are as a city. And so I'm given the signal from Martha Cohen that we are almost at
Martha's there? Oh my
a
God.
minute.
Martha Cohen is
Are we there, Martha?
We are.
All right. Oh, and our Sheriff Paul Miyamoto is here. Thank you so much, Sheriff, for joining us. And at this time, recognition for those first responders, for the people we lost during the 1906 earthquake, for the people we lost during this pandemic. Let's take a moment of silence.
Is it? Oh yeah, it's 5:13. They're gonna have that fire engines going. That's Donna right there.
I know, you told me that.
Thank you all so much for joining us. Emperor, we're glad to see that you've survived 115 years. Thank you again to the fire department and our chief and the police department and the Department of Public Health, our sheriff department, our first responders, the people who will continue to be the guardians of San Francisco. We are coming out of this pandemic and we are coming out stronger than ever. Thank you so much.
Normally we would be singing and Donna would be leading us. We can sing. We can sing. All right. Come on in, girls.
Sure, it's okay. All right.
All right.
Yeah, mask on. I checked your health order. We can see. Mask on. Okay. Yes. Let's do it.
It only takes a tiny corner of this great big world to find a place we love. My home upon the hill. I find I love you still. I've been away, but now I'm back to tell you, San Francisco, open your golden gate. We'll let no strangers wait outside your door. San Francisco, here is your wandering one, saying I'll wander no more. Other places only make you love you best. Tell me you're the heart of all the Golden West. San Francisco, welcome me home again. I'm coming home to